So, all right, one sec. I'm gonna set up the mic and the camera.
Is there a way where they can hear downstairs? We can hear you guys for a second, and then
And then it went off.
yeah.
Yeah, I just turned that back on. I didn't notice it till 2 seconds ago.
Oh yeah. You were like, okay, let's test the microphones, and then it went off. We were like, oh man.
Okay. So y'all are just looking.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Now she should be able to hear. All right.
Okay.
Hold on. This may block your. 1 second. This water is for you if you would like it.
Oh, thank you.
Let's see. Can you? Let's see. Right. Okay. Yeah, did not notice that went out. So, all right. Let me get a sound check. Please introduce yourself.
Brandy Young.
All right. And
Microphone
let's see.
checker 1 2 1 2.
All right. Okay. So, audio already rolling. Camera 1 rolling. Camera 2 rolling. All right, still in effect. The Detroit is Different podcast studios, delivering something of a collective. This is a collective of beautiful black women coming together to do business, but also that business is creative. You know, we love creativity, artistry, and it's giving back because a lot of y'all need these services so that what you deliver is packaged the right way. And the brain behind this operation is really not. That's Brandy Young. How are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
Everything is everything.
Good.
So we're gonna get this. I guess now I'm gonna go natural, regular Detroit is Different. Segment.
Oh boy. Okay.
Your Detroit story. What's your Detroit story? Come in here. Are you first generation? Was your family already here? How did your people make their way to the
Oh, that's a good question. Let's see. So, my grandparents, my mother's mother is originally from Jasper, Florida, but they made their way to Detroit and started their family. And my father's parents are from St. Louis. So my father is from the east side, let's see, like Montclair area. And my mother is also from the east side, Nevada and DeQuinder area. So like 7 Mile, DeQuinder area. So grandparents, parents, and then myself, Detroit. So I grew up in a house, obviously, on the east side, Nevada and DeQuinder. So that's where I'm originally from.
Okay. So that's like
East side.
Yeah, Nevada, DeQuinder. Okay, so that means that's like the footprint. I would say that it's kind of like you got a lot of friends that either went to Pershing or I don't know.
So Pershing was the neighborhood high school. I did not go to Pershing. My mom went to Pershing.
Okay.
So I went to Cass Tech.
Okay.
CT, yes.
So, but that neighborhood is it has like a lot of like rich traditions. Like I think Coney Gardens. And
Yep.
Also, it's a very you're not over like you have to be over there, but it's a lot of like Bengali kids over there. It's like which is a culture in itself. Chaldean families over there.
Yep. Yeah.
Even some like the Eastern European bloc kid, like it's almost like an extension of like if as people say Hamtramck don't even seem like it'd be in the middle of Detroit, but if Hamtramck were to extend, that kind of neighborhood is like a mesh of like a Detroit Hamtramck type thing.
It is, absolutely. And it's crazy because when you look up kind of like that area now, it almost identifies as Hamtramck in some spaces. So, but I was definitely born and raised east side of Detroit. So I never identified as being from Hamtramck or lived in Hamtramck.
So, and there, and your family being there, and some of those traditions in that neighborhood, what are some of the things you remember about that community in that neighborhood that just, stand out when you think of that neighborhood?
It's crazy because that neighborhood has changed a great deal from when I was growing up, and then it's in the process of changing again. Like I drove in that area not too long ago, and there's like a tropical smoothie over there, and I'm like, okay, it's some changes that are happening for sure. But I remember my grandmother, because we lived with my grandmother, and that was technically her house, and we lived there, my parents and myself and my younger sister. But I remember like walking around the corner and to the hair salon. It was a hair salon nearby, and we would walk around the corner to go to just the store. I mean, I wouldn't say it was necessarily the safest at that time, but it definitely, we felt safe to just walk around the corner to do just your everyday things. And I recall a lot of times going to, I think it was called Belmont Shopping Center on 8 Mile. We went there a lot to, at that Imperial sometimes, just to grab some things from that grocery store. And Bel Air movie theater, that was our theater that we attended absolutely a lot of times when we went to the movies. So I just remember that neighborhood a lot, just doing your everyday things and hanging out with the family for sure.
Yeah, Bel Air, being a kid, I'm surprised you didn't mention the Michigan Fun Center.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. That's crazy. Wow, yeah.
So yeah, in that neighborhood had, depending upon the era, I want to say like during like the 90s, early 2000s, a lot of kids were over there. Like a more abundant amount of young people were in that footprint than many Detroit neighborhoods at the time. So it was a lot of young people, I can only imagine, just bustling around.
Yeah.
From around that neighborhood. And then you mentioned that flow into Cass Tech, another like definitely staple. I mean, most times, people are like, "Did you go to Cass?" Like even outside of the state. It's
Yeah.
like, oh man, you doing stuff. You must went to Cass. Like, not necessarily, my friend. What was Cass Tech like for you?
Ooh, Cass Tech. That was definitely a community, and it still is. It's a lifelong community. I mean, you can't go anywhere without seeing somebody from Cass. I mean, I went to the Anita Baker concert, what was it, last week or week before last, and everywhere I turned, I saw someone that I knew from Cass. But I went to the old Cass, I guess. I never really experienced the new Cass because they tore down the old Cass and built a new building. But that was just an experience like no other. I graduated with a class of over 500 people. And when I think about it now, I mean, it was so normal and natural to me at the time. Like, yeah, 500 people, that wasn't anything. But thinking about it now, I'm like, that was a big class. I mean, that's big. I'll think about, my kids, how many people are in their grade now, and it's nowhere near 500 people.
Your last name is Young. You were sitting in that.
Well, it wasn't young at the time, but yeah, for sure.
It was young at the time. You were sitting there. What? Oh. I'm like, man, y'all can come. You can tell your people like y'all can come like probably like an hour later.
Right. Exactly.
So from Cass, and we haven't even really introduced the creativity of this. So let's get more so into that.
Mm-hmm.
Photography.
Mm-hmm.
That's the craft that you're into.
Yes.
What sparked your interest in photography beyond, something just standard, something like just like what made you look at a photo and the depth of it beyond just like how most people look
It's crazy because I developed a love for photography as a child. Like, I was a
at it? Like,
child.
How young?
Maybe I'm gonna say maybe around 10. Like, I had the old school, the old school camera. You go the film.
Disposable
Yep.
camera?
Well, it wasn't. I had my own camera. It wasn't a disposable one. It was the film. You had to put the film in it.
Professional camera.
I don't know if it was professional, but it was the plastic camera. You kind of had to wind it like this, and you had the flash that stuck up there on the top of the camera. But
I'm gonna say it's professional because everybody else had either disposable or Polaroid.
I never had a Polaroid. I always wanted one. That's crazy. I never got one. I never got a Polaroid. No. But I don't know what, at the time, I just loved taking pictures. Like, it's funny because I have a friend that kind of teases me sometimes, that I actually went to CAS with, and I actually also went to middle school with her. I went to JZU for middle school, and
you just mentioned something else. That's another big community of black folks at a certain, like in the 90s, JZU, even though a Catholic school, they were like an all black school.
Yeah, absolutely. It was. I remember maybe a few students and my classmates that were not black, but yeah, at the time, absolutely all black. But so she teases me to this day, kind of like, Brandy always had her camera. I just always did. I wanted to capture the moment. And it's funny because, I don't think I was really thinking like that at the time. I just loved taking pictures. So,
who bought you this first camera?
My parents.
Okay.
My parents, yeah.
And was it like a Christmas gift? Was it just
I don't remember.
You messing with our cameras, so here you go.
I don't remember, to be honest. I don't remember. And it wasn't like I don't remember it being like a whole discussion. I just had this camera. I always had it. I always took pictures. We always went to like the drugstore to get it developed, So to this day in my basement, legit, I have like storage plastic bins of pictures. Just like, I probably have about 4 of them. Pictures from school, pictures from camp, pictures from church, I was at church and we went on, the Black College tours as I got older, and I sung in the choir. We used to go to, we used to travel a lot for the choir, go down south and things like that. I just have pictures, all these memories, and I'm so thankful for them because, a picture just kind of captures a moment in time. So you look at a picture and it takes you back to that moment, and you're like, oh, I remember. It's a feeling. And so I'm grateful and thankful for that now, to be able to, at that time when I was younger, to have that love that I didn't even really, it's crazy, I didn't even recognize it at the time, I guess. So I had a photography class at CAS, and that was my favorite class. The whole time I was at CAS, I was drawn to that photography class, and we would, they gave us cameras, and we would like take pictures in the classroom, or take pictures, go downtown and just take pictures, walk around the city, and we would come back to school and develop the cameras. The images, excuse me.
So red rooms, like dark rooms.
Yeah, we had a dark room. It was up on I think it was the 8th or it was the 8th floor. And it was just an experience for me that I just fell in love with. But at the time, it never crossed my mind that I could have been a professional photographer. It just never, ever crossed my mind.
So from that class, and I'm sure you learned some things about lighting and shadows and some key things about it. So like, people watching, you can go to YouTube View and learn some basic stuff.
Yeah.
But you go a little bit beyond basic, even in high school. So it's reintroduced to you, definitely in love. From high school, you venture into what world, and what drew you back into photography?
So throughout my whole, I would say, academic career. I was always kind of placed on the path of STEM. So my parents always had me in different programs and classes and school and like summer programs and stuff like DAPSEP and stuff that kind of focused always on science, engineering, math, things like that, and technology. And so again, the arts and photography just never ever crossed my mind.
Let's clarify this. STEM was more acronym, I'd say, of like the late 90s, early 2000s. So science, technology, engineering, mathematics. Now they've added STEAM. So they added arts, science, technology, arts, engineering, mathematics. So arts has been placed in this mix.
Yep.
Because the unique thing about all of those science, technology, engineering, and mathematics is I think it takes some artistry and some creativity to approach those. And a lot of the people I know that work in those disciplines do have appreciation for arts and have to think outside the box to address the work that they deal with in those other worlds.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. But like I said, I never thought about photography. Went on and graduated CAS, and I attended Oakland University, where I studied management information systems. And I selected that major just going through the course catalog and reading the description of it, and it discussed pretty much how it's the combination of like business and technology. And I studied business at CAS and technology back then, and everyone was like, go in the field of technology, that's the way of the future. So it was like, okay, I'll check this out. So I did MIS, and then started my career in technology pretty much. So I ended up as a project manager, and that's what I'm doing today. But I was always still drawn to photography. I would do
this whole time. You find your way, like life just leading you back.
Yep.
Attracting you to
photography, absolutely. I would do it's crazy because I dabbled a little bit in makeup, and the highlight of that whole experience when I would do makeup for a client is taking the pictures, so the before and after pictures. And then I also did like these really big, I love to crochet. I haven't done that in a very long time, but it was very therapeutic for me, and I would make these big and bold scars. But again, the highlight of that whole process was taking the pictures. So I got models and I took pictures of these models, and that whole process was a high for me. So again, always kind of being drawn back to photography. And as I got older, something just told me, like, Brandy, you keep just going back to photography. Like, if you want to do photography, like, either do it now, or I wouldn't say I said give it up, but like, just try, just do it. And I was at the mindset of, if I'm going to do photography, I want it to be perfect. I want it to be right. I didn't go to school for photography. Like, this is just a hobby. But I ended up doing some like online courses, and I got an online mentor from a business perspective as it relates to being a photographer and being able to run a sustainable business. And then I took it a little step further to try to, with my business, to be able to separate me from other photographers. And then that's how the Luxperience came along.
So today, which is good and bad, because I mean, I'm in the, I guess, content creation world with media for clients and stuff. So the good thing is these things exist, and I'm holding up my smartphone for the people listening in Spotify world. The tough thing about that is some of these smartphones, depending upon what you know how to do, it can look amazing.
Absolutely.
Hence, it arms a person with a skill set to deliver. But it also can, it can dilute what a person thinks is capable, because these things are this powerful. Entering this industry at a time where a lot of people are in the DIY, do it yourself mode, DIY, how do you differentiate that? What do you give in your experience with the client that adds more value than just feeling like I can just get my little cousin to just, use the iPhone, the newest iPhone to take my pictures?
Absolutely. So if someone wants to just have a photographer or someone to take their picture, Navy B. Ray Photography, which is the name of my business, I mean, it's definitely more than just taking a picture. It's more than just a picture. It's an experience. I knew that when I started Navy B. Ray, I wanted my clients to have an experience. And I didn't want them to come to the photo shoot stressed out. A lot of times, from my experience, even being on the other side of a camera with a photo shoot, whether it's for myself or my family, a lot of times I arrive stressed because I have to, as a female, figure out what I'm gonna do with my hair, figure out what I'm going to do, what I'm gonna wear, what are my children, maybe if they're in the shoot, what are they gonna wear, figure out my makeup, set these appointments. And so I'm coming to the shoot tired, stressed, and I just wanted to be over with. So I didn't want that experience for my clients. So with Navy B. Ray, every client that has a shoot with me, there's a whole process and there's a whole experience where I have a team that works with me. I have 2 makeup artists, 2 wardrobe stylists, and a hairstylist. So with every shoot, you get makeup and wardrobe styling. So my clients, they just have to show up and we take care of the rest. There's a whole consultation that happens with myself, so I get an idea of how they want to be photographed. If they don't know how they want to be photographed, my team and I, we have those discussions and we design the whole shoot based off of the discussion, the consultation, and the character of the client. And then from there, the client then has a consultation and a discussion with the wardrobe stylist. Again, what is their what's their look, what's their brand, if they are maybe launching a business or trying to if they're trying to refresh their business with new content for their website or social media. And then, they show up to the shoot and we make sure that we have refreshments, we have mimosas, we have pastries from a local bakery, depending on the location of the shoot. And we take care of them. They just show up. Everything, my stylist, if the client wants, the stylist will actually shop for them. If they are purchasing new items, they will pull out items from their closet and piece stuff together and shop for them anything that might be missing for that look. And then we have the shoot, we have fun, we have music going. I mean, it's just it's a girls' day. If it's if it's men in the shoot, we make it work and we have a lot of fun and it's a whole experience. And then afterwards, maybe a week or 2 after I get done editing the images, there's a whole reveal. So I'm sitting down with the client, I'm showing them their images, and then I also offer products if it's wall art, getting those images off of digital. Of course, they want to post, that's great, but let's make it wall art as well. Let's decorate your home with these images. So there's definitely options when it comes to the products, but again, just providing an experience where they are not stressed. And a lot of times I get feedback like, like I said, maybe they're business owners, but we also have a lot of clients that book us just because they want to dress up, they want to feel pretty, they've never been professionally photographed, or the last time that they were professionally photographed was their wedding or a family picture 10, 15 years ago. So again, an experience and focusing on the client.
Well, I'm going to add this to that mix. And you gave a great pitch as far as like an experience. It's an experience that's created with what you offer. And that's key and powerful. But as someone that's done a good amount of photo shoots, like people will say, why and how, and creativity, it matters. I mean, I create content, so I gotta have a decent looking photo of myself to display, like, okay, I can take a decent photo of whatever I'm capturing, more along the grassroots line. But this is for everybody that's watching. Okay, Brandy just gave y'all a very professional perspective, get a photo shoot for a couple of reasons. And this is why. Because we've all been to we've all seen, sadly, like a funeral program where it's like somebody with a club photo, and it's like you see the Lamborghini and the Renaissance Center in the background. It's like, you don't want to be that person.
Oh boy.
You don't want to be that person. You don't want to be the person with the sketchy selfie where you felt like, okay, I look my slimmest then, this looks real cool, and that's your LinkedIn profile, and now you're looking for a job. And the first thing people gonna do when they see your name is they gonna check your LinkedIn profile, and you wondering like, who are all these weird people checking my LinkedIn profile? Because you've been on Indeed all day, right? And now you're on Indeed, and then they look at the profile. You know what they say about the wealth of the words in the picture? You don't want to be that person. So if you have a themed photo shoot, and I'm usually the one coming up with the theme, and shout out to my guy, Mark Master Pietro, but now we're talking about the experience you can get. But it's a lot to come up with the theme that you think matches what you do. So someone from the outside stepping in and assisting will help with that. So if you're a personal chef, you know, as they say, Detroit's a city with side hustles or something, but you're by day an engineer, you need a shoot that displays, and you know, if they can see in a picture like, oh,
yeah,
they make tacos, or oh, this is a cake maker, or oh, this is a real estate, you know, especially for real estate people.
Yeah.
This is a real estate person. Like, if the picture says it, through the staging, through the props, through the background, through the right lighting, it heightens the level of comfort for a person before they interact with you.
That's true.
It's just, I mean, as much as people want to say, I don't judge, I'm not prejudging, we all are prejudiced. Photos lead to some of that prejudice. I think you're a bigot if you stick to whatever your prejudice is, and you're trying to deter, like, no, I know people with red hair do this. That's where you get into bigotry. But a clear, succinct photo is important to have as an adult for certain occasions. Well, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
When you just gotta submit, you know, we've seen it even in like family booklets and stuff, and like you'll see like this part of the family where it's like, wow, that looks real organized and everything, and then you'll see this other like family reunion booklet picture where you like, man, why they got him eating some ribs in the family reunion booklet? Like, oh, it's like, this is messed up. Like Uncle James, you should have a better photo.
Uncle James.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's so you'd be surprised how many people just go without any professional photos in today's world because they don't know people like you. They don't even know the process of it, or they think it's too, you know, it's not attainable within their grasp.
Yeah.
You know, so what is, you know, if you are just like working a regular job and you don't necessarily see the road, my speech may have encouraged someone. What's that approach like for like the regular, you know, school teacher or like mechanical engineer or something like that? Like, how, if they want to express themselves in that photo shoot, what's the experience they have?
What's the experience they would have? I mean, the experience really doesn't, I won't say it doesn't change for each client. We make sure that we provide the best experience for every client, whether you are a teacher or you're a business owner. I mean, it's all in what they are looking to get out of the experience, the why behind them coming to me. We want to make sure, I also encourage my clients to get a diverse amount of looks, have some diversity. If you haven't been photographed either professionally ever, or you've been professionally photographed 10 years ago, okay, let's take advantage of this shoot. Let's get a glamour shoot. Let's get a professional headshot. Let's get a lifestyle shoot. I encourage it. I mean, I really don't limit the amount of looks. I mean, I make sure that it doesn't get out of hand because it does take time and energy, and clients do get tired modeling. I mean, at the end of the day, you're modeling, and modeling is a lot of work. I mean, you get tired, but take advantage of it. Let's do it.
And do you help? Because usually I get this. What do I do with my hands?
Oh yeah, I do all the
go?
posing. Absolutely.
Okay.
Again, you show up, I take care of everything.
Yeah.
My team and I, the team is called Luxperience. I am posing you literally from the beginning to the end. You don't have to like figure out what to do. No.
And you may feel a little uncomfortable because
Yeah.
what looks good in a picture ain't necessarily how you naturally sit
Yep.
or anything like
Yep.
that. She may be like, move your shoulder
Yep.
back and move your elbow forward.
Yep.
It's like I'm doing a robot here. What is going on?
Yep.
It'll come out great. Trust me, because the lens is known.
Mhm.
So now I got one more question before I get to a Detroit is different question, and we can wrap. What was the first camera when you made this decision? What camera did you leap into buying? Why did you choose that camera?
My very first camera was like an intro camera, Canon, which I still shoot with the Canon today. It was a Canon Rebel T3i, I think it was. Why did I choose that camera? Just, I knew I wanted to shoot Canon, and I was on a budget when I didn't want to spend a whole lot of money, and just like research, and that was a camera that came kind of like highly reviewed at the time, and it did me well. And then I upgraded to, I think I have like a Mark V Canon, still Canon today, and I shoot with a portrait lens, a 50 millimeter lens. So my genre really is like a glamour portrait photography. Again, I do lifestyle, I do headshots, things like that, but it's all portraits for the most part.
Okay. All right. So now that leads to the Detroit is different question.
Okay.
If dead or alive, who would be who's a Detroiter you want to capture? Who's a Detroiter that's like, I love to do some photo shoots with this person, and why?
Is this like a famous Detroiter?
You could be like my cousin
Oh.
Reggie, because just
Okay.
give you the
Yeah.
context of why.
For sure, my grandmother. I would have loved to shoot her. She was a very beautiful woman, great spirit. I would have loved to capture her smile, and just her energy. I mean, she was just an overall beautiful woman, and just to be able to have that legacy professional picture of her. And that's what I encourage too a lot with my clients. If I have let's say for example, a mother and daughter, or a mother that she talks about her daughter a lot in the consultation, or vice versa, I encourage them to bring the mom, the grandmother, the aunt, whoever, let's have a legacy photo shoot. I mean, again, when was the last time you were professionally photographed? And this is something that you will be able to pass on to future generations.
So now I gotta go a step further with that question. Lifestyle. What would be the lifestyle shoot? How would you set that up?
What would be a lifestyle shoot?
For your grandmother.
Oh,
how
for my
would you set that
grandmother.
up?
Ooh, asking some deep questions. Okay, let me think. I would get my grandmother probably on our front porch. She kept the front of the house it was very beautiful with flowers. She loved her garden, flowers in the front. We were on a corner house, so it was flowers in the front, flowers on the side of the house. In the back of the house, she had like a fruit and vegetable garden. So she was in there in that garden all the time, every day. And I remember getting the fruit of her labor with the fresh cucumbers and tomatoes, and she would put it in some vinegar and put a little salt and pepper in there. So I would probably capture her again, like on the porch, or maybe even like working in the garden.
That's deep. That's deep.
You about to make me cry. Wait a second. I'm a G. I don't cry now. I'm a thug. So.
We not about to go there, but I definitely love the fact of that's the image that you would love to see in that shoot. So as you know, and I know a lot of gardeners check Detroit is different. I don't know, I even got my little garden, but So now you know, lifestyle, especially for y'all. Y'all know y'all going for gardening grants and stuff like that. You got this selfie after you've been out there all day and you got mud in your hands and they're like, man, you know, get the shoot, get the shoot, get the shoot for all my gardeners out there. So how do they get in contact with you?
Website is Navy B Ray, NAVY, the letter B, RAE.com. Luxperience Collective, we're about to actually launch a whole online training course to train and to encourage other businesses to provide elevated Luxperience for their clients. And this doesn't necessarily it's not focused on photography or anything like that, just from a business perspective, to be able to provide that elevated experience, a customer experience for customers and clients. So Luxperience Collective on IG, Navy B Ray Photography on IG. So check us out.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay.
Yeah.